Yes, I'm off again. It's a whistle stop trip. It's a work trip, and I'm heading to Lagos, Nigeria via Istanbul in Turkey. Gosh, I can't remember when last I was at Istanbul airport, but it has changed. Look, it's so huge, and by the amount of time it took me to get from my plane to my gate, I pretty much literally was straight back onto the plane because it was so far away. It's such a huge airport. Anyway, arrived in Lagos and at the new terminal, which is actually quite impressive, and then headed home. Next morning, up bright and early, and I decided to surprise my friend Chinwe, turn up at her house, and give her a little bit of a shock. Then I go off to meet Shola for lunch, well, brunch at Brisk. We decided to go the healthy route and have a salad. But of course, they gave us toast, which is probably not healthy. But the salad was really good, I have to say. And then I insisted on going to the loo, and I'm so glad I did because look what we found on our way to the loo. Just the perfect place for taking pictures. So, of course, we stopped and we took several pictures. Yes. I mean, it's clearly for people to do selfies because look at this. They had all these things written behind that only reflected it. Oh, just brilliant. I mean, did I say we took a few pictures? We were there for ages. Anyway, it's a lovely little restaurant. Next day, Chinwe and I head off to the mainland to do what I came to do, which is a piece to camera in front of the Ayo statues. Yeah, don't ask. Anyway, we weren't entirely sure whether it was safe for us to go there alone. We didn't know what we would meet. Chinwe thought we would probably bump into some area boys, so we thought it was best, since it was just the two of us, that maybe we had some male escorts. So yes, we got male escorts. No, one of them was a policeman, and yes, that is a gun that he's holding. Couple of pictures before we get down to business, and then straight away filming piece to camera in front of the Ayo statues. Chinwe was very disappointed that there were no area boys. I mean, we did see one guy, but don't think our lives were at risk at any point in time. It's interesting the way the police guy just blended in with the trees there. Can you see him there? It's very hard to even spot him. A few more pictures before we went on to our next port of call, and here is the entire team. And yes, that is a man with a wheelbarrow on his head. Don't ask me, I do not know. So we headed up to our next port of call, which was Chinwe's site. She has a site where she's doing some work here on the mainland, so we went for her to see how things were going. It's always interesting to see people when they're in their work mode because they kind of change. You know, when you have a friend and you see them at work, it's slightly different. Anyway, it was fun to watch her. Yes, madam. We had a lunch date, so we headed off to meet my brothers for lunch. But accidentally, we drove past Sterling Glams. Accidentally. We spotted it. That's how we ended up inside. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thank God we had somewhere to go because Chinwe, in fact, we could have lived there. We could literally have moved in. We really could. But luckily we had to make it for lunch. We get there and Laulu is already waiting. Poor bloke had been waiting a bit. Anyway, we settle down to lunch. Akilabi comes to join us and we just have a good time talking about business, talking about life. And then it's time for us to go, well, to part ways. But before we do that, we are going to see Damilare Baker's residences. Spotted this and I thought this is a whole Shezaza on its own. No money, no lady. Anyway, off we go to Damilare Baker residences. And wow, was I impressed. I mean, I've seen stuff from there, but to actually go there and see it with my own eyes, I want one of these. I really do. Time to head back to the island. I'm hoping to see Oyinko. Didn't get to see her last time I was here. She's busy, so I'm literally going to pop in for a hug and a photograph. And you know what? That's enough. If that's all I get, I'll be satisfied. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that Chinwe fell asleep. Sigh. Oyinka was at the 4 Points, so we got there just in time to catch a hug and a photograph. It's all I needed, and I got it. It's so lovely to see her. Haven't seen her in a bit. Then went home and undid my hair. Yes. And then played around with some of Chinwe's wigs. I'm not really a wig person. Anyway, settled for that one. Next morning, and we're off for breakfast. Meet up with the Thomases, Deji and Adegbola, and have some breakfast. Yeah, this week is not really, I'm not feeling it. Anyway, I then leave Chenwe with Pathways and I head off to meet Yewande, who I haven't seen in forever, and Kunle. And then I go for a pedicure. Look, my dress was two-tone, so my slippers are two-tone. Leave me alone. And then I arrive back at Chenwe's, where my dear friend Fadi Kemi is coming to meet me because we are going to do a Shea Zaza. And we do a Shea Zaza. We talk about her transformation, going from being an educator to an actor. Catch that on YouTube. Then I leave and quickly run for another photograph and hug with Akintunde and Bolaji. I meet Shola for dinner. Look at that. And that's my day done. Okay, so next day, up bright and early to have my hair done in time for me to come back to the United Kingdom. Head to the airport. Yeah, I told you it was a whistle stop time. I mean, I've literally been here for a matter of days. Get to the airport with my team, who have been absolutely brilliant. Back on the flight, head straight to Istanbul again, and then London. Yes, I actually still wear masks on flights. I just do. Anyway, I arrive at London Heathrow and picked up by my boo, and we go for brunch. Yep, this is exactly where I belong, back home. So I'm sure I'll be off again soon, but until then, we had brunch at the newly renovated Cannons Cafe.